Title: The Coffee Empire of Wisdom, Howard Schultz. Chapter 1: From Homelessness to a Global Dream. Howard Schultz grew up in a cramped apartment on the south side of Chicago. The youngest in a family of 6, the weight of his father's illness fell on his shoulders early. When his mother was hospitalized, he was 6, shoeing bills with a mop of hair and a dream of getting a job. He remembered the first time he tasted espresso at a small coffee shop as though it were a spark that illuminated a life of possibility. "I thought about how I could make coffee better or bring it to people I couldn't reach," he said in an interview. He went to a local college, then entered a corporate world with an eye on the unseen potential between service, staff, and customers. The story of Schultz's rise from a young barista to the CEO of Starbucks is a living testament to the power of perseverance and empathy. When he found the original Seattle coffee shop that would become Starbucks, he had no luxury of dreaming big. He understood that a coffee shop was more than just coffee. It was a place where people could come, talk, and belong. He bought the company for $7 a share, a modest cost that would later become a billion-dollar empire. In the early days, Schultz would walk from his office to the small cafes he loved, hand a paper bag of beans, and ask the owner if he would let him bring him a coffee. That became a ritual, a simple way of opening dialogue. That conversation taught him something fundamental. People want to be heard, and good leadership demands listening. What can a YouTube viewer or aspiring entrepreneur take away from this? Start with curiosity. Take a small step to enter your industry's spaces and talk to people who already make it happen. Build relationships. The coffee that changed his life was given by a stranger who listened. Take bold early actions. The purchase of Starbucks was a gamble, but one based on confidence and conviction. Takeaway: when you combine humility, curiosity, and boldness, your path can transform from struggle to success. If you're enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Reflective question: how can you apply curiosity and boldness in your own professional journey today? Chapter 2: The Pillars of Schultz's Philosophy. Howard Schultz has spoken at countless conferences, but his message is distilled into a handful of principles that guided him from the first espresso machine to a global brand: empathy, empowerment, innovation, and community. We first hear about empathy when Schultz recalls his mother's hospital visits. "I was a kid who had to understand people who cannot afford comfort." He carried that empathy into the workplace. He instituted a health benefits program for part-time staff, turning a coffee shop into a safe haven for its workers. Empathy is not passive. It is the ability to put yourself into another's shoes and then act with purpose. Empowerment follows. A young Schultz noticed that the best ideas came from the front lines. He gave baristas the freedom to change menu items and let them experiment and fail. This culture of ownership sparked innovation within the company. Innovation is the next pillar. Schultz didn't just sell coffee. He sold an experience, a space, a community. When he visited a European cafe, he saw a third-place concept, a cafe that was also a forum for discussion. He brought that vision home and introduced the concept to American culture. Lastly, community. Schultz's story of buying a homeless program, offering apprenticeships, and building the coffee partnership underlines his belief that success belongs to everyone. Concrete examples of how you can use these pillars: empathy in meetings. Start meetings by asking team members about their day, personal challenges, or recent successes. You'll gain insights and trust. Empowerment in projects. Assign a fail-fast pilot to a small cross-functional team and let them decide the next steps. Innovation in routine tasks. Choose one daily operational task to improve, optimize inventory, reduce waste, or streamline a process, and let the team choose the solution. Community in branding. Create a program that partners your business with local NGOs or community centers. Co-host events that encourage community growth. Takeaway: Schultz's 5 pillars are a blueprint for building more than a company. They build a movement. If you're enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Reflective question: which of Schultz's pillars resonates with you most, and how might you incorporate it into your current work? Chapter 3: Schultz in Action, From Idea to Impact. Schultz's biggest move was bringing the third-place idea from Europe to America. He saw an opportunity to create a new space for people to gather outside their homes and workplaces. He imagined a cafe that looked like a living room with soft lighting, free Wi-Fi, and a menu that catered to locals. He invited people to speak about their vision for coffee, listening to preferences and needs, not just selling a product. In 2015, he opened the Starbucks Reserve Roastery in a historic theater. When tourists walked into the shop, they were greeted by steam, artistry, and a menu that told a story of beans from different regions. He used storytelling to create depth and meaning beyond caffeine. Schultz also revolutionized the employee experience. In 2008, he introduced a program that offered stock options and tuition reimbursement to baristas. He gave them tools to own the company and pursue further education. He understood that a capable, passionate workforce leads to higher quality service. He showed his commitment to social causes by creating Coffee for Good. He pledged to use a portion of profits to support refugees and job programs. He made this not a side project, but an integral part of his vision. Concrete ways to emulate Schultz in your life. Find a social cause and integrate it. Identify a cause that aligns with your brand and incorporate it into your mission statement. Create a unique customer experience. Redesign your product or service to be more experiential, not just transactional. Offer investment in your team. Provide stock options, profit sharing, or educational sponsorships to empower employees. Leverage storytelling. Share the journey of your product from seed to shelf to create an emotional bond with your audience. Takeaway: Schultz's greatest impact came from combining empathy with bold decisions that shaped his business ecosystem. If you're enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Reflective question: what bold decision could you take today that might transform the way your organization operates or serves its community? Chapter 4: Bringing Schultz's wisdom into your everyday. The lessons from Schultz are not confined to coffee shops. They translate into everyday business and personal life if you apply them thoughtfully. Start by setting a personal goal, the way Schultz set a goal to grow Starbucks into an international brand. Write down your mission, break it down into actionable steps, and celebrate small victories along the way. Empathy in leadership means actively listening in conversations, not just waiting for your turn to speak. In a business meeting, ask each colleague for their concerns, then propose actionable solutions that reflect their input. Innovation requires you to question the status quo. If a customer asks for a product you don't offer, consider whether adding it can solve a larger need. Create a test group, collect data, tweak the offering, and iterate. Community can be nurtured by becoming a local partner. Offer to host events, sponsor local sports teams, or engage in volunteer initiatives. Build relationships that feel authentic and mutually beneficial. Concrete examples of application. Morning routine. Begin each day by setting a small intention that aligns with your larger goal, just as Schultz started each day with a coffee and a vision. Team check-ins. Replace status report meetings with a 5-minute pulse update that includes personal wins and challenges. Product line extension. Conduct a survey asking customers what additional item they would love in the store. Treat the results as data for potential new offerings. Community outreach. Launch a coffee meetup at your local park and invite local businesses to collaborate. Takeaway: by embedding Schultz's philosophy into everyday habits, you can create a workplace and life that thrives on empathy, innovation, and community. If you're enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Reflective question: which element of Schultz's approach will you implement first in your next project, and why? Chapter 5: The Legacy Continues, Your Call to Action. Howard Schultz's life exemplifies that an individual can transform an industry through a blend of humility, ingenuity, and purposeful service. From a barista humming to a coffee mug to the chairman of a Fortune 500 company, his journey reminds us all that greatness starts in the heart. When we look at his wisdom, we see a roadmap. Empathetic leadership invites people to share, innovate, and feel valued. Empowerment turns employees into stakeholders, not just wage earners. Innovation turns ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. Community weaves a shared narrative that lifts everyone. This isn't about coffee alone. It's about creating places where people feel seen, empowered, and connected. Whether you are a startup founder, an HR professional, or a parent, Schultz's philosophy offers actionable steps for building relationships and fostering growth. Takeaways: 1. Leaders who listen build stronger teams. 2. Empowering people creates loyalty and innovation. 3. Embedding social purpose brings deeper fulfillment. 4. The third place concept can be applied to any industry. Turn any space into an inclusive meeting ground. As the final thought, you have to see the world not just as a business you operate, but as a community you care for. Let that become your guiding light. If you're enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Reflective question: how will you use Schultz's principles to shape the next chapter of your own story?